What's going on, NBA 2K fans? It's Pete Toll, aka PT Sports 84, back with another NBA 2K25 My NBA Eras video. I talked about previously about my custom Steph Curry era roster. Back with a part 2 of that video. I've got some major breakthroughs thanks to a user on the NLSC forums. Fourth quarter Kai put together a table, a player editor table for the meantime, that allows us to edit what we need, whether it's adding in cyber faces, editing the draft info, editing adding portraits for players that have them, things of that nature. So, exclusive to my roster so far, I've been able to add in the portraits for many players on my roster. As you can see, you got Bayless, got Timothé Luwawu, Stauskas. Now, if you don't see a portrait, most likely they took it out. I wasn't able to add it. I'm not finished. I've only gotten the Bucks and the 76ers as far as portraits. I added in, and that's for existing players. For all of the missing players, I added in all the portraits I could find, like Teledovich's portrait's missing. Jabari Parker has one. Plumlee, Thon Maker, Tony Snell, like guys like that. Like, what's rare is Rashad Vaughn doesn't have one. They took his out. Mirotic has one. Zipsers is missing, but Jarian Grant has one. Denzel Valentine, Christian Felicio, Isaiah Cannon, RJ Hunter even has one. And then you could see that they are edits underneath. I used a lot of different creators. Richie 2K, Bork's rosters from the historic draft or custom draft classes, various others as well, based on whoever had the best faces. I used them for this roster, so I'll make sure I try to credit them in the description the best I can. I apologize if I forget you. Let me know. It's not intentional. I just sometimes forget where I get faces from. I don't always log it as I'm going through, but you could see different faces added in. I still got to go back through and add guys like Dunleavy, Richard Jefferson, like guys like that. But what I wanted to do first was make sure I got all the missing players in: Avery Bradley, Amir Johnson, Jonas Jerebko. Like, you can go through the roster and see who I was able to add. Like I said, if they're not in the default roster and I was able to add them and they don't have a picture with them, then that means I wasn't able to find the portrait. It could be under a different ID than what I was looking, so maybe you'll see an addition in the future. For some players like Blake Griffin, obviously you see him in the Boston Celtics uniform here. I'm hopeful that I can find another Blake Griffin and find a different picture, possibly like the all-time team Blake Griffin picture that he had previous. I'm hoping I can find that and then throw him in there. Guys like JaMychal Green. It just varies on who they have and who they don't. James Ennis, like Deontay Davis had one, but he doesn't have it now. What's weird is Andrew Harrison has one, but then Aaron on the Hornets doesn't have one. Wade Baldwin still has his. Troy Williams, Jarrell Martin. So there's guys that have them, guys that don't. Kent Bazemore, of course, it's updated with the Lakers. I wish you could take, on PC, you could do this. You could override the portraits and have them all one thing from like the Hawks 16-17 thing, because like basically you could look up all the headshots and have them all correct. You cannot do that on console, so they can't do the custom look of faces or portraits, headshots, whatever you want to call it. They do have the action shots available in the file as well, but none of them were adding for some reason. I don't know if I was doing something wrong, but none of the action shots would add when I added the ID. So if anybody knows how to do that, where I can get the action shots to show, I can't get them to show. I typed the correct IDs in on what I could find, and they would not show no matter what I did. Like Tyler Johnson has one. I do have all of the missing players in the game now. So what I'm going to start doing this week is go through attributes and tendencies. Anybody that wants to use this roster, go for it. But please, if you can, on the description in on 2K Share, credit me for it. Like, I try to credit other roster makers, whether it's, mostly in videos just because there's not enough room, always in the description. But if you make a roster and you use mine as a base, please just shoot a credit out. It helps a lot. But yeah, I got everybody in that's missing. I'll show you in just a second. I'm working on some other free agents at the moment, like Ben McLemore. Timofey Mozgov is there. Elfrid Payton, of course. We got Justin Anderson. Like, what's weird is they have some faces and then the others right around the same IDs they took out. So it's hit or miss whether they have them in or not, but I got everybody that I could. Like CJ Miles, Lance Stevenson's there, Solomon Hill, John Lohr. Like, there's different guys. You can go through and see everybody. Bruno Caboclo is there, but Lucas Nogueira was not. Sam Decker, of course, Ryan Anderson, and Montrezl Harrell. Every single player I could get, I have a headshot for. So you'll see a variety of these throughout the roster. So as you can see, all the added ones in. I got to get Iguodala. I know he still has one. What's weird is James Michael McAdoo was right around Patrick McCall, and they took him out but didn't take McCall out. So it's just interesting what they choose to do. Going over to the free agent pool, I did unlock the appearance tab for Jordan Crawford, so you can edit him as you want and still keep that ID. Same for Gary Neal, although I updated his face. Quinn Cook, I added a portrait. Yogi Ferrell added in to the free agent pool. He signed with Brooklyn and he signed with Dallas and actually made all rookie for the Dallas Mavericks, or as a member of the Dallas Mavericks. I've got Nick Johnson in here, Eric Moreland, Andrew Godlock. I edited his appearance, or added his appearance, the ability to edit his appearance tab, so we can get him fixed. Marshawn Brooks, because he signed later on, a couple years later. I wanted to have him in there. Donatas Motiejunas, I added him in because he had that standoff kind of with the Rockets that year, ended up signing with the Pelicans later that season. Briante Weber, Sean Long. I'm going to get a bunch of other faces. Elise Johnson, Jimmer Fredette. I'm going to go get a bunch of other guys, like Okero White is one. Mike Toby is another. Like a bunch of other guys I got to add into the roster that I haven't added in. I want to add those in, and then I'm going to start working on the attributes tendencies. What you'll also find in here is I updated the rotations for players based on their opening night. I don't have all the teams yet. I'm halfway through, so still updating as well. But the roster is making progress. Hopefully you guys can enjoy this roster as it's making progress to be completed. Hopefully you could use it maybe as a template if you want to take and use for your own roster, make your own modifications, go for it. Everybody in the roster space is working together to get the best rosters out for 2K fans. So hope you enjoy it. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please hit that thumbs up button on the video. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel as well. I'll have a couple more videos out during this week as well, highlighting different things. So stay tuned for that. But please, please, please make sure you're subscribed to the channel as well. Hope everybody has a great rest of your week and take care.